Hello again. This is part 2 of my May book haul, and this covers my sci-fi fantasy buys. These are my sci-fi fantasy buys for May. The first 2 books I'm going to cover, I went to my first literary festival, which was a bunch of authors selling their books, and I found 2 books that I picked up, both signed by the author. If you could hardly see these, but they're both signed by the authors. They are pretty interesting series. First one is called Rickson Awakening by Q Rosario. Very small book, and let me read the description about this book. The Rixen have emerged from Ilvanor Forest, where they have remained, thought extinct for centuries. In the same night, Salin and his neighbors are forced from their homestead after they are attacked by Empire soldiers. As he and his neighbors flee, Safin finds out he is a descendant of an ancient race of outlawed magical mortals called Halfkins. Now hunted by the Hunrin king, Salin and his close friend Mira must decide how their awakening will shape their future, and that of family, friends, and race. Again, this is a really short book. It's only 72 pages, so it's basically like a little novella. It was definitely interesting, and I decided to pick that up. So that is my first buy at the literary festival. It is called Rickson Awakening. Next book is called The Rise of the Red Harbinger, and the author explained this to me as, what if Game of Thrones and X-Men had a book? So that pretty much sold it right there. But he basically talked about how he created his own religion for this book. Again, it's fun to actually talk to an author about his book because they're really excited, obviously. This is the first of a 4-part series, supposedly. So let me read the description on this. 1,000 years ago, the realm of Asher was drowned by Darien, harbinger of the god Origin, to save it from the evil Red Harbinger, Jamash. But the prophecies say Jamash will return, and only Darlin's chosen descendants, those who bear a black line on their face, can save mankind. Balthazar, an untried lad from a hidden village, he must find the house of Darien to learn how to use his mysterious powers. Marshall, the last of a race of warriors slaughtered by Jamash's army. Will the other descendants help him avenge his family and his race? And Prince Garrison. He spent years following the orders of the king, his father, to kill all who bear the mark of Darien, even though he bears it himself. Can the other descendants accept him, or will he kill them? Time is running short for the descendants. Hunted by the people they are supposed to protect, can they save Asher from its greatest threat? The Red Harbinger. Has a nice map here in the back. It definitely sounds like a really interesting book, and I'm looking forward to reading it. It sounds really interesting, and I'm looking forward to picking it up and reading this. That is Rise of the Red Harbinger. The 2 other fantasy books that I picked up was Red Sister, which I know a lot of people on BookTube have talked about. This is the first in a series. I think it was up for an SFF award. It says, at the convent of Sweet Mercy, young girls are raised as killers. In some few children, the old blood shows, gifting rare talents that can be honed to deadly or mystic effects. But even the mistress of swords and shadow doesn't truly understand what they have purchased when Nona Grey is plucked from the gallows and brought to the halls. It takes 10 years to educate a Red Sister in the ways of blade and fist, but there is much more for Nona to learn than the arts of death. Among her class, she finds a new family and new enemies. Despite the isolation of the convent, Nona's secrets and violent past finds her out, drawing with it the tangled politics of a crumbling empire. Beneath a dying sun, Nona Grey must master her inner demons, then loose them on those who stand in her way. So I am definitely looking forward to reading this. The next book is Vicious by V.E Schwab. This just got re-released. I've only read The Darker Shade of Magic by V.E Schwab. I haven't read her YA books or anything else by her, but I definitely want to pick this up. I know Vengeance is going to be coming out in a couple of months. I'm looking forward to this. Plus, it's a superhero story. Basically, it says here, Victor and Ellie start out as college roommates, brilliant, arrogant, lonely boys who recognize the same sharpness and ambition in each other. In their senior year, a shared research interest in adrenaline, near-death experiences, and seemingly supernatural events reveal an intriguing possibility that under the right conditions, someone can develop extraordinary abilities. But when their thesis moves from the academic to the experimental, things go horribly wrong. I am definitely looking forward to this. I've heard a lot of good things about this. There's a lot of blurbs on the back of this book. That is vicious. And for sci-fi, I have 3 sci-fi books. First one is the 5th Expanse book called Nemesis Games. The best thing about this book is I found it at a thrift shop for $2. So I'm really excited. It's actually a really nice copy. It doesn't look red at all. So for $2, I can't beat it. So I was really happy to find this. The other 2 books I've heard a lot on BookTube about. First one, The Collapsing Empire by John Scalzi. This is, let's see, Riding the Flow, an extra-dimensional field available at certain points in space-time. Humanity spreads to innumerable planets through the universe. A new empire arises, the interdependency maintaining its control based on a doctrine that no one human outpost can survive without the others. But just as the river changes course, the flow changes as well. In rare cases, entire worlds have been cut off from the rest of humanity. When it's discovered that the entire flow is moving, possibly separating all human worlds from one another forever, 3 individuals, a scientist, a starship captain, and a emperorx of the interdependency must race against time to discover what can be salvaged from an interstellar empire on the brink of collapse. This does sound really good, and I am looking forward to reading it. It is The Collapsing Empire by John Scalzi. And the last book I picked up was New York 2140. This one is basically an apocalyptic type of world about the waters rising, I believe, in New York City. And I'm definitely looking forward to it. That is New York 2140. And that is the end of my book haul for my sci-fi fantasy. I still have 2 more to go. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.